Good evening, friends. So tonight we're going to take a look at a fairly controversial piece of gear. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so what this is, it's a mid-90s Fender Stratocaster that was made in Japan. Now what makes it so controversial is your finish. And that's not paint, folks. That's not paint crackling. This is what's called a photo finish Fender Stratocaster. So what the story is during the mid-90s, Fender was trying to cut back on production costs. They had a plant in Japan, and one thing that they did to cut costs is that this is a piece of alder with some basswood on top, and they printed out a flame maple finish, and they have this special way of putting it on, kind of like shrink wrap. It's basically like putting a wrap on your vehicle, except you're putting it on a guitar. It's actually kind of funny. So the irony here is that it makes these guitars more susceptible to finish cracking. But of course, if you stripped off the finish and repainted it, it wouldn't be a FotoFlame finish guitar anymore, thus losing a little bit of its history. You can see some of these cracks from where the finish itself dried out and whatnot from changes in humidity, changes in climate, hot, cold, and of course the wood expands and contracts. But getting back to this guitar, you might hear online some stories about like the Hamburglar on the back of the neck. This version is a little different. So this neck, it doesn't have the FotoFlame finish on the neck, and there's a reason for it. So notice that there is a Floyd Rose tremolo system on it. And yes, it's real Floyd Rose. And here, let's see if I can focus a little more. I guess that's the best it'll do. But so what they did was, for some of these, Floyd Rose licensed the Floyd Rose system out to them. And so you have, and I'll show it right here, it's called the Floyd Rose 2. It's printed, or it's engraved on your bridge. And of course, in the 80s, they started to bring back the Squire name brand. So Fender had bought Squire out in the 60s, and they started to make guitars using the Squire name in the 80s. So this was one of their ways of bringing the Squire name back into the mainstream. And of course, prior to that, Squire was a string name brand. It had absolutely nothing to do with making guitars. Just a little fun fact. This one also doesn't have the string trees. It's got a bar right here to hold down your strings, and it helps create a little tension. It does the job of what a pair of string trees would otherwise be doing. Here's where you can put your tremolo bar if you so desire. And of course, you got your tuning machines. Here's your made in Japan with a serial number, and this one has 21 frets. And another thing that's different about this one, you got the humbucker. You're going to see other examples online of different strats that don't have the humbucker, that don't have the tremolo system, and also have the Hamburglar on the back of your neck. Also, you'll also notice that your nut bolts through the back on this one. And you got your skunk stripe right here for your truss rod. So this one's a pretty interesting variation. You got a very nice tremolo bar that goes with it. Enough of me yakking. Let's go ahead and hook it up and see how it sounds. So we're set to this pickup right now. Now just the humbucker. And now we're just adding compression. And now we're going to use the Boss Power Stack. Yes, we're going to make the PV Studio Pro 112 sound like a Marshall. So now we're back on our next setting. I'll go to the next one. humbucker. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video. Next time we're going to take a look at one that was made in Mexico. So stay tuned, folks. And I shall see you next time. Take care.